I thought I'll take this moment just to share a little bit about myself. Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. But it's great to see as we got our boys getting set for ready for our next set. I do want to share a little bit about myself, just to give a bit of history. Um, I'm a Wellington-born Samoan. Yes, I was born in an old hospital called St. Helens Hospital, which used to be in Newtown. It's not there anymore. It's still there, but it's not a hospital. I think they closed it after I was born. So I was born in Wellington, and I'm an only child. I'm an only child, which is not very common in island families. We usually hit the double digits, and so I remember one time as I was growing up, because I grew up old school. My parents, the rule at our house was, "For Samoan fale, for palangi la onga." So speak Samoan at home. When you go to school, learn and speak English. So from 0 to 5, before going to school, I only spoke Samoan. And everyone I knew was Samoan. And I remember when I was growing up, my mum, she brought her sibling over, stayed with us. We only had a 3-bedroom house, me, mum, and dad. Then my mum thought, oh, bring her brother over, he stayed with us. Then my dad thought, oh, okay. It's like that, is it? Okay. So he brought his family over, and then my mum brought someone else over, and it just continued. The house didn't change. It was still a 3-bedroom house, and there was about 12 of us. 12 of us, and sometimes you had to sleep standing up because it was so packed. And while I was growing up, like I said, my first language is Samoan. So by the time I went to school, I was like a fob. I was like fresh. I remember going to school and the kids were like, "Hey man, what's your name?" I was like, yeah. God bless, yeah. God bless. And I remember growing up, and it was a real culture shock for me I started making friends with Palangis, started making friends with Maoris, Indians, you name it. I started making friends with all these different ethnic groups, and made really good friends too. And I remember I met my first Palangi friend. His name was John. And I remember I loved, going to John's house because he had all the toys. Play with John's toys. And then I put one in my pocket and then put the other one there. So, and that was the way I grew up. And I remember when I was going to school, there was a time when me and school didn't mix too well. I didn't do too well at school. The only thing I passed at school was the rugby ball. And my family would sometimes look at my report, and my cousins would say, "Finger, hey, look, man, well, did you go to school just to eat your lunch?" And I was really hurt by that. And I said to them, "Look, guys, it's not really nice what you're saying. But the truth is I also went to eat my friend's lunch too." So that was me growing up. And I remember, like I said, I'm an only child, and my mum comes from a big family. There's about 11 of them, and then there's also the other half brothers and sisters. I mean, we're all family here. We're all family. And I used to have this joke about my granddad and with my mum. And I said, "Oh, mum, granddad was like a farmer. He'll go to the different villages and plant seeds, and that's how we got our extended family and stuff." So I asked my mum. One time I was about 11. And I asked my mum, and I said, "Mum, why did you choose just to have one child? When you guys come from a big family, all your siblings have got heaps of kids." And then my mum looked at me, and she got a bit teary-eyed. And then I thought, man, I'm going to have this heart-to-heart with my mum. She's going to say something that's going to inspire me to do something great. She's going to say something that's going to make me want to climb Mount Everest on the internet. And so my mum said, "Finger, go finger. Sit down. So I sat down. And I thought, oh man, me and my mum, yeah. Then I asked her again, "Mum, why did you choose just to have one child? My mom said, Finger, go finger. The reason why I choose just to have a one children is because look at you. How can I have a more children when you eat more than 8 children? That's when I decided to run away. But then I came back because it was almost lunchtime. And I remember one time when I was growing up in school, you know, and I was at college, I went to a school that is very hard to get into. It's one of the most elite schools in all of New Zealand, or pretty much all over the world. And I had to apply for scholarships. I had to sit numerous exams, different languages in French, Spanish, Latin, all these, just to try and get into this one school. The school is called Rongotai Boys College. And when I got into that school, I became like a role model student. I was like one of those special students. Rongotai College asked me to sit school C 4 times. But I thought, nah, you know what? I'm going to do it 5. At Rongotai, I loved it. It was one of the most memorable years of my life. Spent a good 10 years at Rongotai. I left when I was about 27, and but my last year at school, I missed a lot of classes because I had to drop my own kids to school first before going to school. And I remember one time I said to my uncle, because I wanted to be a prefect, and I said to my uncle, Uncle, what are some words of wisdom? What are some inspirational words that you can give to me right now, make me want to go to school and become a great role model and a prefect at Rongotai Boys College? My uncle looked at me and said, Finger, go finger. Finger, if you want to succeed, make sure you succeed. Because if you have the word succeed, then you will suck. And I looked at my uncle and I thought, okay, maybe he said school C 7 times. So I said, Uncle, you know, because, you know, we're a Christian family, you know, and we go to church, isn't there a scripture that you can give me that will, you know, sort of lift my spirits and make me want to go out there to school and do the best that I can be? My uncle said, yes, of course. Now, my uncle, he's happy-go-lucky. His English isn't too good, but he tries his best. And he said to me, you know, Finger, in the book of optometrists, it say, you can teach a man to fish, but you can't teach a fish to man. And then that's when I knew that I was in trouble. I was never going to be a prefect at school. But I want to share with you one story, short story, about one of my uncles. My uncle arrived and he landed in Auckland and he stayed on Otara Boulevard. And then he went and worked at a factory up in South Auckland. Worked there for 2 years, and all he wanted to do was save money so he can buy a brand new car. Oh, no, sorry, wrong story. My uncle wanted to go and buy a present for his wife. So he walked into the shop. Now remember, he saved all this money 2 years. English isn't too good, but he always gives it his best. Walked into the shop. Ding, 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 ding. Shopkeeper comes out and says, excuse me, sir, how can I help you? My uncle's trying to process in his mind, okay, what do I say? So he looked at the shopkeeper and said, shopkeeper, yeah, look, I'm looking for a present for my wife because birthday is just around the corner. Can you help me, please? Shopkeeper said, yes, I think I have just the thing for your wife. So the shopkeeper took my uncle to one of the sides of the store and He said, how about one of these? My uncle said, oh, yeah, there's a nice ring, bling bling, nice watches and necklaces. How much is that one cost? That's $5,000. Ah, that's too steep. What do you think I am, made of a wallet or something? So he took him to the other side of the shop. Shopkeeper said, I think your wife would look lovely in one of these. Marcus said, oh, yeah, I think my wife is going to be look beautiful in one of those. How much is that one cost? That's $2,000. Yeah, wow. Then the shopkeeper said, look, I know that some of the stuff is quite expensive, but I really want to help you. What are your wife's interests? What are her hobbies? My uncle said, oh, yeah, my wife, she's in the mother's group in the church. She's in the church choir. She's in the house on Friday night. Then the shopkeeper said, I think I have just a thing for your wife. So the shopkeeper took my uncle at the back of the shop, and there were these 3 shelves. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the shelf, there was a skull. My uncle said, excuse me, what is that thing? Shopkeeper said, that is Moses' skull. You mean the Moses from the Old Testament? That is the exact Moses. How much is that one cost? That's $200. Then my uncle said, have you got one of him when he was a baby? Now, being a part of tonight is a real honor for me to be MC, to witness some of this amazing talent. But I do want to say one thing from the bottom of my heart. As a Wellington-born Samoan, as a Kiwi, as a father of 3, as a husband, and a very good-looking one at that. And as a Wellingtonian, a Hurricane supporter, I just want to say, yeah, of course, yeah. But you guys weren't like that last year. As a Hurricane supporter, what I do want to say from the bottom of my heart is I want to say thank you to the Salvation Army. You know, as a member of the community, you know, I've seen some of the amazing work that you guys do right from when I was young. My mom used to work in the kitchen at one of the homes that Salvation Army had up in Owen Street. And I used to play on the trampoline with my cousin, who they housed and their family, they used to house in there. Salvation Army were also in need for a very close family of mine when they really needed help and somewhere to stay. I've also been growing up with Salvation Army in school. When I was at Rongotai, I played in the symphony orchestra. Most of the guys on the trumpet were all from Salvation Army. You know, I also, while I was growing up, I don't know if Mr. Farrell's here, one of my old school teachers at Rongotai Boys College, someone who was always witnessing at school, even though, you know, I was not too good at school, but there was always someone there, and also someone from Salvation Army everywhere I went. And for me, just from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you for the awesome work that you guys do. I know you probably don't get acknowledged much for it, you know, and you know, looking at the history of Salvation Army, how it all started from, you know, wanting to make a change. And I know 150 years plus later, you guys are still making a positive change in our communities. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the awesome love that you give our communities. And thank you that because a lot of us that don't go to church, it's through your actions that we see the Bible and we see God's love. So from me and my family, I just want to say thank you. I can't say thank you enough, but just to be here tonight is a real honor and a blessing to be amongst the amazing people of the Salvation Army and the awesome people that have put this event together. So those who have passed on and we're doing awesome work, and those in the future and those here now, thank you very much for Te Te Lava, and much love to everyone in the Salvation Army.